again. I finally got a comfortable cloud. Soft, quiet, not a single hymn in earshot. Jesus. Naturally, they dragged me back to earth.
I was halfway through my heavenly nap. Eternity's not supposed to come with overtime.
What's the emergency this time? Another continental crisis?
Apparently the Republic is trending downward again.
Well, this cloud was making my joints hurt anyway. What's a man with rheumatism supposed to do up here? There's nowhere to run.
You're already in paradise, George, and still finding something to complain about.
Old habits don't die hard, it turns out. Who would have guessed? Now that is purgatory.
Gentlemen, it appears America's asking for divine consulting. Again.
It seems we've all come to the same conclusion. The Republic won't save itself.
To Historically Incorrect. The Republic's still arguing over the same old question we left laying on the table a century and a half ago. How to keep freedom without shooting holes clean through it. Tonight, we'll see whether we've learned anything since bullets last settled, some disagreement we had.
We've improved the hardware, Abe, not the habit. The weapons got smarter, but the arguments sure got sillier. Seems the people's awareness of the gift we gave them, this republic, keeps fading with time. We used to be rougher men, and better for it. We had calluses on our hands and a purpose in our hearts. Now they've got gadgets that could burn a hole clean through the moon, and no earthly idea why they built them. I'd bet if I walked down any main street in this republic, nobody'd know me. Maybe a few would ask me to sign their dollar bill. But with taxes so high, they might not risk scuffing up the only one they've got. The king would have been thrilled if he could have bled his subjects as neatly as the government does today. They call it revenue now. Same tax, it just, sounds better. It's been a long time since I paid for my own drink. Back then, $1 bought a round. Now it wouldn't even cover the thievery, the sales tax. Where was I? Ah, yes. In my day, we fought worthy battles. Now they've still got battles. They just can't remember why. All right, I've rattled on long enough. The old general's turning into a filibuster. For the rest of this discussion, I'll hold my peace.
That's right, General. Better hold on to your peace before they take away your right to bear arms.
Good one, James. Look at you keeping up with the modern lingo.
Just trying to keep pace with the living, Abraham. They've been arguing over my sentences for 2 centuries. Least I can do is learn their slang.
Well, if we're speaking of arms, gentlemen, the matter's plainer than we make it. The right was never granted for sport nor for show, but for the balance it keeps. The weapon is liberty's instrument. Dangerous, yes, but so is every safeguard worth the name. Disarm the people, and you unlearn the first lesson of a republic. Power only behaves when it knows the people can bite back.
Tom, I don't quarrel with your reasoning, only with the price it demands. You say the weapon is liberty's instrument, and I reckon you're right. But in these later days, that same instrument's been turned on schoolhouses and church pews. Tell me, when the hand that guards freedom starts taking innocent lives, how do we honor the right without burying the republic beside the victims? If liberty demands such blood, can it still call itself sacred?
Abraham, the sad truth is this. Liberty allows the possibility of evil, or it is not liberty at all. The horror of a madman's act is absolutely unforgivable, and the man who commits it must be brought to justice. But it is not an argument against liberty itself. Yet, when a people aim for an unreachable and unattainable perfection, they risk crashing the delicate structure of freedom itself. To forbid the weapon because it can wound is to teach the people that safety may be purchased by submission. Once they accept that lesson, once they believe safety can be bought at the cost of liberty, they will trade away their birthright for a promise of safety, and discover too late that neither liberty nor safety can be reclaimed without the means to take them by force. Look to the nations where power is absolute, where citizens have surrendered every safeguard. Their suffering is proof enough that government, unrestrained, grows feral. Leave it without a cage and an armed guard, and it will devour what it was made to defend.
If only the beast could be managed more gently. A dart instead of a blade, perhaps. Put it to sleep for a time when it breaks loose. Let it wake calmer, less sure of its authority. That would be the statesman's ideal solution. Restraint without blood. Correction without ruin.
James, wishing for what does not exist in nature is a fine pastime for philosophers, and a terrible habit for statesmen. That yearning for gentle cures and perfect justice, history shows that the dream of perfection has undone more nations than tyranny ever did. Men reach for heaven and tear up the earth beneath them.
Yeah, you've a point there. Taming government overreach will never happen. Left to its own devices, it grows without end, always pressing toward the places where resistance is weakest. The people's task is simple enough. Hire their groundskeepers and trim the overgrowth on a regular basis. And don't let them tinker and tamper with it either. We already planted the garden. Just maintain it, for goodness sake. It shouldn't be so troublesome. At times it feels as though we're pulling teeth. Not that you'd know much about that anymore, George.
Not know about what? Hard work?
Not hard work, George. Your teeth. You've none left to pull.
I'll have you know, James, wearing ivory in one's jaw is often more misery than extracting one's own teeth. I've endured worse than your garden, Jess.
I meant no harm, General. I'm merely in admiration of your magnificent ivories.
Admiration. Is that what we're calling it now?
Well, it must be rather convenient being all bark and no bite.
I'll have you know, sir, I've bitten harder men than you.
Not recently, I imagine.
Well, that's a lively detour. But before we start trading dental war stories, maybe we ought to circle back to the matter at hand. Or arm, I should say. The right to bear arms. Good Lord, that pun's unforgivable. I'll leave the clever wordplay to you, James, from here on.
Yes, you may want to retire from puns, Mr. Lincoln. Some burdens are heavier than the Republic can bear.
If the Second Amendment truly is the people's shield against the creeping hand of tyranny, you've got to be kidding me! I did it again! I'm stuck in a hand loop!
Take a breath, Mr. Lincoln. We'll pretend it never happened. Let's move on.
Right then, there's a question we can't ignore. How do you remind a nation of this forgotten lifeline? One they might one day need, but seldom think about. And what on earth happened that made the people forget it so quickly?
Well, weapons have gathered a poor reputation over the years.
Why is that, do you reckon?
Abraham, have you ever heard the phrase, opening a can of worms?
Course I have!
Well, You've just opened one. We built a system that was, by design, hard to break. A free press to keep rulers honest. A separation of powers to keep ambition in chains. Checks and balances, an armed citizenry, and the principle that sovereignty rests with the people, not the state. It was as close to bulletproof as men could devise. So the only way to bring such a republic to heel is not by altering the government, but by altering the people. If you reshape the education of their children, rewrite the stories of their past, dismiss their inheritance as shame, and teach them to distrust their own institutions, that is how a free society dies, not by the fall of the government, but by the forgetting of the governed.
Well, we've wandered through
Excuse me.
Yes, General. Did you want to add something?
Yes, if I may. Just want to add to what Tom so eloquently said. It's no different than a priceless heirloom whose worth the family's forgotten. The treasure sits right there, plain as daylight. But the safe is left unlocked, unguarded, and gathering dust. Apathy and ignorance are an open door to every scoundrel alive. Leave it that way, and someone won't just take it. They'll smash it to bits out of spite.
Well, we've said a fair bit tonight, but the truth's simple enough. Don't take for granted the haven that's been handed down to you, a gift carved out by the Lord's mercy and the labor of the men at this table. It took a revolution to break free from tyranny, and it will take another one if you were to let it go. And there's no guarantee that you'll succeed next time. We're here to remind you that you've got a fragile glass in your hand. Quit using it to play beer pong and treat it with the care it deserves.
What in heaven's name is beer pong?
You've got the lingo, James, but not the pastimes. Beer pong is, well, a modern diversion where grown adults fling little balls at cups of drinking beer until somebody wins, or nobody does. A spectacle that has very little to do with dignity.
I'm eternally sorry I asked. Some curiosities ought to stay buried.
Pardon me, folks. One last thing before we go. I'm told I ought to ask you to like, share, and subscribe. That's the phrase, I believe. Now, I'm not in the habit of giving orders anymore, and I won't start tonight. But if you've taken something worthwhile from our little gathering, well, I don't suppose it'd hurt to spread the word a bit. Do what you feel is right. I wouldn't want anyone feeling pressured on my account. But between you and me, if we're all trying to keep this republic healthy, a little help never hurts. All right, that's truly all. Good night, friends.